About 5 years ago, I did something impulsive. I had $1,000 sitting in my checking account, money I'd mentally earmarked for a new laptop I didn't actually need, and I decided to try something different. I gave myself 30 days to figure out investing. No course, no financial advisor, no one holding my hand. Just me, the internet, and $1,000 I was fully prepared to lose. I want to tell you exactly what happened, the mistakes, the confusion, the moment things finally clicked, and what that $1,000 actually turned into. But first, I need to be honest with you about where my head was at before any of this started. I didn't grow up talking about money. Nobody in my house sat me down and explained what a stock was or why you'd want one. What I knew about investing came from movies, guys in suits yelling at phones, numbers flashing on screens, people either getting rich or losing everything. That wasn't my world. I was in my mid-20s, working, paying rent, trying to get ahead. I had a little saved up, but it was just sitting there. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew that wasn't smart. I'd heard enough times that you're supposed to be making your money work for you. I just had no idea what that actually meant in practice. I tried Googling it once, typed in how to start investing, and got buried in articles talking about PE ratios and dividend yields and something called a margin call. I closed the tab. It felt like trying to learn a language by reading a grammar textbook. Nothing connected. So for a long time, I just didn't do anything, which, as I would later find out, was its own kind of financial mistake. Then one afternoon, I was talking to someone who mentioned casually that they'd been investing since they were 22. Not some finance bro, just a regular person. And they weren't rich, they just started early and kept going. That sat with me. I went home that night and decided, I'm doing this. 30 days, $1,000. Let's see what happens. Week 1 was mostly research and mostly painful. I didn't know where to even put the money. I'd heard of the stock market the way you've heard of the Eiffel Tower. I knew it existed. I'd never actually engaged with it. I started reading about brokerages and got immediately overwhelmed by the choices. Fidelity, Schwab, Robinhood, E-Trade. They all claimed to be the best option for beginners, which obviously can't all be true. I ended up picking one based almost entirely on the fact that it had no minimum deposit and no trading fees. I opened an account in about 15 minutes. That part was actually easy. The hard part was figuring out what to do once I was in. Here's where I made my first mistake. I went straight to individual stocks. I saw a company I liked, a brand I used personally, and I thought, well, I trust this product, so I should trust the stock. I bought $200 worth. Within the first week, it dropped about 6%. Now, $12 is not a lot of money, but something happens in your brain when you watch a number go red. It felt way worse than losing $12 in any other context. I started checking the price twice a day, then 4 times a day. By day 10, I was constantly refreshing, which is genuinely a bad way to live. That's when I started reading more seriously, not just about how to buy stocks, but about what actually works long-term for people who aren't professional traders. And that's when I found out about index funds. The concept is simple. Instead of picking one company and betting on it, you buy a small piece of hundreds of companies all at once. When the market goes up overall, you go up with it. When it dips, you ride it out. No predicting, no picking winners. Just consistent, boring participation in the market over time. I remember reading about the S&P 500 index and seeing the historical average return, roughly 10% annually over long periods, and doing the math on what that does to money over 20 or 30 years. Compound interest. I'd heard the phrase, but seeing the actual numbers laid out made something click that hadn't clicked before. I moved the rest of my money, $800, into an index fund. Then I did the hardest thing I'd ever done in my financial life. I stopped watching it. Week 3 was where things got interesting. I had time to actually think instead of react. I read more about Roth IRAs,
a type of account where your investments grow tax-free and you don't pay taxes when you withdraw the money in retirement. I hadn't even known this existed. I'd been thinking about investing as this purely aggressive thing, but there are accounts literally designed to help regular people build wealth quietly over time, with serious tax advantages, and most people my age weren't using them. I started to understand that investing isn't really about getting rich fast. The people who consistently build wealth through investing are almost always doing something boring. They pick low-cost index funds, they contribute regularly, and they don't panic. That's essentially the whole strategy. It's almost annoyingly simple once you get past the jargon. By the end of week 3, I'd also figured out what a lot of the confusing language actually meant. Expense ratio. That's just the annual fee a fund charges expressed as a percentage. If it's 0.03%, that means you're paying 30 cents a year per $1,000 invested. If it's 1%, you're paying $10. It sounds small, but over decades, a high expense ratio quietly eats a significant chunk of your returns. Understanding that one concept alone changed how I looked at everything.
So what actually happened to the $1,000? The $200 I put into that individual stock? By the end of 30 days, it had recovered and was up about 3%. Not bad, but honestly, kind of beside the point. I got lucky that it bounced back. It easily could have kept dropping. The $800 in the index fund was roughly flat after 30 days. Slightly up, maybe 1%, but that was never really what mattered. Index funds are not a 30-day play. They're a 10-year play, a 20-year play. What actually changed in 30 days wasn't my account balance, it was my understanding. I went from someone who avoided thinking about investing because it felt too complicated and too risky, to someone who had a brokerage account, an index fund, a basic understanding of how compound interest works, and a real plan to open a Roth IRA and start contributing monthly. That shift in my thinking was worth more than whatever dollar amount was in the account. Here's what I wish I'd known at the very start. The barrier to entry is much lower than it looks from the outside. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need to understand everything. You need to open an account, pick a low-cost index fund, and start, even if it's small. Time is the actual engine. The longer your money is in the market, the harder it works on your behalf. The worst thing I did in those 30 days was wait as long as I did to get started in the first place. Not the 30 days of the experiment, the years before that where I told myself I'd figure it out later. The second worst thing was obsessing over individual stocks when I didn't have the knowledge or the time to analyze them properly. For most people, and I mean the overwhelming majority of regular investors, index funds beat actively picking stocks over long periods. The data on that is pretty clear. And the best thing I did was just start. Imperfectly, with money I could afford to learn with, and then actually pay attention to what I was seeing. It's been about 5 years since that experiment. That $1,000 has grown, not dramatically. Investing isn't magic, but it's grown steadily, the way boring things grow when you leave them alone and keep adding to them. I've been contributing to a Roth IRA consistently. I've kept the expense ratios low. I haven't panicked during market dips, though I won't pretend that's always easy. The version of me from 5 years ago, the one closing Google tabs because the terminology was too confusing, would be genuinely surprised. And that's kind of the point of telling you this story. You don't need to be a finance person to invest. You don't need a financial advisor, a big salary, or some perfect moment when everything is stable enough to start. You need an account, a small amount of money, and the willingness to learn as you go. The market is not a casino for people who know things. For patients, consistent investors, it has historically rewarded participation over time. Start small if you have to. Start messy. Just start. Because the cost of waiting is not zero. It's all the time your money could have been working while you were still thinking about it.